Hello friends, welcome to UPSC Logics, and this is the revision of Indian history. So today we shall have a look at the revolt of 1857, and we shall have a look at around 100 questions, and this is in one liner format. So I've covered a few more questions besides the revolt of 1857, basically the uprisings and a bit of beginning of the Indian national movement in this particular chapter itself. So without wasting any time, let's begin. The revolt of 1857 broke out from the city of Delhi on 11th May 1857. Who was the political agent of the British killed at Delhi? It was Simon Fraser. Which native infantry refused to use the newly introduced Enfield rifle and was consequently disbanded? It was the 19th Native Infantry of Behrampur. Mangal Pandey belonged to the 34th Native Infantry. Who led the revolt at Kanpur? It was Nana Sahib. Lucknow was led by Begum Hazrat Mahal. Bareilly was led by Khan Bahadur. Bihar was led by Kumar Singh. Who was the leader of the revolt who initially offered to keep Jhansi safe for the British if her demands were met but later joined the revolt? It was Rani Lakshmi Bai. Which was the army that remained loyal to the British? The Madras Army. When was the first unhappiness of the Sepoys surfaced? In the year 1824, when the 47th Regiment of the Barakpur was ordered to go to Burma. The first state of annexation using the doctrine of lapse by Dalhousie was Kutch, 1830. Satara was annexed by doctrine of lapse in 1848. Nagpur was annexed in 1853. Jhansi was annexed in 1854. The annexation of some states were cancelled by Court of Directors. They were Bhagat and Udaipur. At Delhi, the work of the rebels was undermined by the wife of Bahadur Shah. Who was she? Zeenat Mahal. What was the ratio of Indian sepoys to that of the British? 6:1, and after the mutiny it became 2:1. When was the new Enfield rifle introduced? It was introduced in January 1857. Who was the commanding officer of the native infantry at Behrampur? Colonel Mitchell. The commanding officer of the 34th Native Infantry was General Hearsay. The commanding officer of Meerut on the eve of the revolt was General Hewitt. The commanding officer of Kanpur on the eve of revolt was Sir Hugh Wheeler. The officer who was shot by Mangal Pandey was Lieutenant Bogg. The officer who killed the Mughal emperor's son after the capture of Delhi was Lieutenant Hudson. Who was the or what was the first paper from India? It was Bengal Gazette and it was published in 1780. The organization started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy were Atmiya Sabha in 1815 and Brahmo Samaj in 1828. Tattva Bodhni Sabha was started by Debendranath Tagore in 1839. Brahmo Samaj of India was started by Keshav Chand Sen 1866. Paramhans Mandli was started by Dadoba Pandurang in 1849. Pratna Samaj was started by Dr. Atma Ram Pandurang in 1867. Arya Samaj was formed by Swami Dayanand Saraswati in 1875. Theosophical Society 1875 by Madam H. P. Blatsky and Colonel H. S. Olcott. So this is an important question. This is often asked. Sadhana Brahmo Samaj was formed in 1878 by Anand Mohan Bose and Shivnath Shastri. Deccan Education Society in 1884 by G.C. Agarkar. Servant Society of India in 1905 by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Amrit Bazar Patrika was started by Shishir Kumar Ghosh in 1868. This is also an important question. Indian Reform Association was started by Keshav Chand Sen in 1870. Who was known as Lokhitwadi? Gopal Hari. The founder of the Aligarh movement was Chirag Ali. Who was Shardamani? She was the wife of Ram Krishna Paramhans. What was the main cause of Sepoy resentment in 1824? It was to a religious Hindu crossing the sea meant loss of caste. Who was the sepoy who had gone to Afghanistan and faced trouble on his return to his village because of his travel overseas and loss of caste? It was Sitaram. The main reasons for disaffection of the sepoys were: number 1, government trying to convert sepoys into Christians; number 2, rumors of mixing of bone dust with atta; number 3, introduction of the new Enfield rifles whose cartridges needed to be bitten off and were greased with pig fat; and number 4 was the emolument of the sepoys, so the salary of the sepoys was really less. The maximum force of Indian infantry belonged to Awadh and they were around 75,000 soldiers. Another cause of disaffection among the sepoys was the introduction of the new land revenue system that was introduced in Awadh. So, as I said earlier, almost one sepoy from every family in Awadh belonged to the army, and anything that was affected Awadh affected the morale of the sepoys. How many petitions were received in this relation? 14,000. Which were the two places that remained unaffected by the civil rebellion that followed the Sepoy mutiny in the north? These were Muzaffarnagar and Saharanpur. The popular thought that messages were conveyed by sepoys with the help of chapatis and lotus is a misconception. The court of administrators formed in Delhi after the mutiny was comprised of 6 military and 4 from the civilian departments. Although Bahadur Shah was the ceremonial head, the main mutiny and planning was done by this particular court of administrators. The main cause for the failure of the revolt was poor leadership. Who has remarked that if there was one proper leader, the outcome of the revolt would have been different? It is John Lawrence. Delhi fell in the hands of the British on 20th of September 1857. The recapture of Delhi was conducted by 1700 British and 3200 Indian soldiers. Kashmiri Gate was blown by 6 British officers and NCOs and 24 Indians, of whom 10 were Punjabis and rest were from Awadh and Agra. When Delhi fell, Bahadur Shah took refuge at Humayun's tomb. Bahadur Shah was captured and deported to Burma, where he died in 1862. Jhansi fell in the hands of the British on 17th of June 1858. Who was the general who paid a huge tribute to Rani of Jhansi, calling her the only man among the rebels? It was General Hugh Grose. Who escaped to Nepal in the beginning of 1859, hoping to renew the struggle? It was Nana Sahib. Kunwar Singh died on 9th May 1858 and he died of old age. He wasn't captured by the British. Tatya Tope, who was a pioneer in guerrilla warfare, was betrayed by a Jamidar and was killed in April 1859. The popular uprising against the British took form in 3 forms. These were civil rebellions, tribal uprisings, and peasant movements. The rebellion in the South India was generally localized and run by disposed jamidars and polygars. The 12 major famines that took place in India and caused a major decline in peasantry of India were from 1770 to 1857. Who wrote in 1859 that the police were a scourge of people? It was William Edward. Which rebellion was made famous by the novel Anand Mat by Bankim Chand Chatterjee? It was the Sannyasi rebellion. The period of Sannyasi rebellion was from 1763 to 1800. The Chaur uprising took place in 5 districts of Bengal and Bihar from 1766 to 1772. The second time the Chaur uprising took place was from the years 1795 to 1816. The rebellions of Rangpur and Dinajpur took place in the year 1783. The rebellion of Bishnupur and Birbham took place in 1799. The Orissa Jomidars revolted in the year 1804 to 17. The revolt of Sambalpur took place in 1827 to 40. The Raja of Vijayanagaram revolted in the year 1794. The polygars of Tamil Nadu revolted in the year 1790. The leader of the Santhal rising were Sidhu and Kana. The Santhal uprising took place in 1855. The Kols of Chota Nagpur revolted from 1820 to 1837. The Munda uprising led by Birsa Munda took place in 1899 to 1900. The Kuka movement in Punjab was formed by Bhagat Jawahar Mal. The Wahhabi movement was founded in Bareilly in 1820. Who were appointed as Khalifas of the Wahhabi movement? These were Vilayat Ali, Shah Muhammad Hussain, and Farhat Hussain. The justice movement that was launched in Madras around 1915-16 was launched by C.N. Mundiliar, T.M. Nair, and P. Tyagaraja Chetty, who is known as Periyar in South India. It is Ramaswamy Naikar. The Tamil journal Kudi Arasa was founded in 1924 by Periyar or Ramaswamy Naikar. The Nadar Mahajan Sangam was founded in Tamil Nadu in the year 1910. Who wrote Neel Darpan? It was written by Deenbandhu Mitra in 1869. Who was the Secretary of State at the time of formation of INC? It was Lord Cross. Who of the viceroys became a victim of one of the convicts on his visit to Andaman and Nicobar Islands? It was Lord Mayo. Bombay Times got converted to Times of India in 1861. Hindu was founded by G.S. Iyer and Virag Vachari. Amrita Bajar Patrika was originally a Bengali paper but became an English paper in 1878 to circumvent the Vernacular Press Act. Who was the English journalist who had sympathy for the Indians and also was called Bayard of India? It was Robert Knight. Who were known as liberators of the Indian press? It was Metcalfe and Macaulay. Which were the books that moved Gandhiji deeply? It was Kingdom of God is Within You and Unto This Last. And this book was written by John Ruskin, Unto This Last. The Tolstoy farm was established in 1910. The first farm to be established by Gandhiji was the Phoenix Farm. Gandhiji returned to India because of the Gandhi-Smuts Agreement in 1914. The principal mouthpiece of Gandhiji in South Africa was the Indian Opinion, and it was launched in 1903. So friends, these were some questions on the revolt of 1857, plus I have covered some other major movements that took place during the era. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you are watching it for the first time, do subscribe to this channel. In case you are a regular subscriber, don't forget to press the bell icon to get regular notifications from UPSC Logics. Thank you so much for watching, and Jai Hind.